Guys, I'm kind of pissed off, as you can see. But I just, well, I've been thought about it, but evidence of how you can tell that you're being watched in your apartment complex by your apartment complex is because of the timing of when they do certain things. For instance, back when I first moved in here in 2022, I had several different inspections. All of a sudden, this year, after they know that I caught on to the different stuff they were doing and that I saved some of the notes that they put on the door, and then some days when I was here, when they put those notes on the door, no one ever showed up. But then all of a sudden, like I remember, there's something that happened that let me know someone came in here on a day, I believe, when they did an inspection, but I wasn't here that time, and that's the time that they decided to finally come in. That's why they kept putting out different notes on the door talking about inspection, inspection, inspection. And I heard when I first moved in here that it might have been one and maybe another one. They did at least four inspections. Those men that were having allegedly having marijuana, I mean not marijuana, but whatever that black drug is, I think meth on their walls allegedly. I found out from another woman. She told me there I never got an inspection notice during that time for the alleged inspection they did that round for those men to somehow gotten evicted out of this apartment complex for having meth on their walls. And they knew I wasn't a drug addict to that extent. So I guess I don't know. They were just picking and choosing at that time, I guess, who they wanted to do an inspection on. And I noticed that too, because some doors had inspection paperwork on it, some didn't. And then that's what stood out to me too, which was kind of odd. And also, this time around, when my therapist from Kel De Bruin Counseling, or De Bruin Counseling, Kelly, sorry, not Kel, but Kelly De Bruin Counseling, he instigated or initiated a CPS investigation for some statements that CPS read on the paper that were fraudulent, not fraudulent, but false statements of things that I know I didn't say. And then after that initiation happened, I was wondering when was the recertification coming up, because the previous year, back in 2022, 4 months after I had moved into this apartment complex, um, at the Louisa Flowers Apartments, there was a recertification that suddenly came up due at the end of the year, and they were trying to force me in the paperwork. I have to find it if I still have it. Maybe they came in here and got rid of it when I was forced to go to, they put a medical hold on me and took me to the psychiatric hospital. Fucking dirt bags. Portland police trash bag ass niggas. But taking payments and bribes to be a part of organized crimes, gang stalking people. Oh man, they have no idea. If they know my thoughts, they know what I feel and think about them. The real version, the uncensored version that I don't say here. Anyways, after that happened, I noticed this year in 2024, since that recertification was done already at the end of the same year I moved in, 4 months after I moved in, told some or my housing would be adversely affected. They were trying to get me homeless to get me kicked out, because they were saying like, if you don't do it in this week, you're gonna get kicked out. Your housing would be adversely affected. But every time I went down there to sign up for to do the recertification, they kept making up excuses why the lady wasn't there. Even when I came early, there's, oh, she hasn't been here for the last few days. But you told us if we don't get it done in that week, our housing would be adversely affected. They were doing spell work on the paper, triggering people to become paranoid and playing games. But if you became a fatality because of that, then all of a sudden it'll be all on the news. And they'll be like, this woman just went crazy. But when a motherfucker know when they being fucked with and they just lose it, we're the ones who's crazy, but not the person who's trying to provoke that person intentionally to go crazy, huh? But anyways, I noticed this year in 2024, since last year, back into the end of 2022, in November, they did a recertification after I moved in July 29th, but they put it on the paperwork August 1st. So Anyways, what I did was oh, okay, I see what now. I just thought about something why they have that sign of Pacific Power, why some people don't have an account in their name, because they allow you to use their account and you have to call and set it up in your name. I did it legitimately and honestly when I first moved in. The second day after I moved in, I set it up. Some people ride off of that, off of the apartment company paying the PGE bill, and they never set the account up, and they ride off of that bill for as long as they can so they don't have to pay for it. But anyways, this 2024, they made sure they did not put the recertification letter on my door until my therapist triggered that CPS initiated a CPS investigation for them to come over and make sure I'm okay and my son is healthy and okay. When they came over, they had no problems. When they saw my house was clean and my son looked very well taken care of, they was like, this was like a piece of cake. So they just doing some other further stuff just to make sure it's okay. Like I'm tied to some NAMI or whatever. I don't trust therapists right now because I see how they work behind the scenes to make this. I was gonna say the F word that they call queer man, that they did to that dude to make him sign to agree to initiate a CPS investigation. But I noticed my apartment complex did not put a notice on my door for recertification until Wednesday when CPS came over. They were going to originally come over on Monday. They waited specifically on Wednesday when I was waiting for CPS to come over to my house to put a notice on my door to do a recertification. They said, kindly, we ask you, can you please come down and do it this week? But it was on a Wednesday. So if I waited and I didn't have time the rest of that week, I promise you they would have tried to say, well, we gave you a notice on your door to give you a chance to get it done. What if my work schedule didn't allow for me to get it done? And then next thing you know, they're trying to kick me out. So that same day, later that same day, I went down there, or yeah, I went down there and got it done on Wednesday. And the reason why they did it on Wednesday is because they called themselves trying to be slick, thinking that I wouldn't catch what they did, but they were listening. How I know is because I was having a conversation with another Freemason that I paid for a consultation for or with to about protection of any agreements or that uniform commercial code called UCC 1-308 for reservation of your rights with your signature, using your signature to reserve your rights when you sign something. um I was talking about doing that, and he was, or it might not have been that individual. The other individual I spoke with was Taquan X. So it was one of those two individuals, Taquan Williams on YouTube. He also talks about national citizenship, being a state citizen or U.S. national. But I was talking about that. He was like, well, when your next certification comes up, then you can protect yourself. They made sure they did it when in the midst of that situation taking place so that I would not be able to protect myself from whatever agreement that they randomly, I guess, make up. And they think I wasn't paying any attention, but I paid attention. But I was like, you guys are so fucking crooked that whatever you do to try to like call yourselves trapping me at Louisa Flowers Apartments, and how I know they're watching too is because the maintenance man, when he saw me making a video about them being closed early, he came out of there. I haven't seen him in months. That particular maintenance man. Then one day he came. He's like, "You smell really good." No, don't try to use that Hispanic flirtatious stuff. What, like, he gave me the vibes of those Hispanic men. They be having a full-fledged family and a whole wife, but they trying to talk to you like they single, and it will lie to you and bring you over to their house and act like they a single man. Then all of a sudden one day you see they ass out with their whole family. That happened with a nigga named Oscar in Beaverton. I saw him, his whole family, and out in Portland, and downtown Portland, by this place called the Melting Pot. And he had his whole family. I didn't say a word because I could have fucked. I was like, dude, you got a whole fucking family. I could have been messy, but I didn't. I was like, wow. I just act like I didn't even see him sitting there with his family. He was looking at me. He was hoping I wouldn't say shit. Two Mexican dudes do that, and that's and the guys that have those type of vibes. Not saying it's only Mexican, so don't be offended with me, motherfuckers, about that shit. I'm talking about the vibes that I get. They be real sneaky, and they be in on, they be knowing all kind of people and doing all kind of shit, helping, you know, the ones that get away with doing all kind of shit because they act like they have this really friendly attitude, but they be in on a lot of dirty shit going on. Like, and I have three Hispanic dudes that I know, Mexicans, I guess, that I know, who are all, they are very similar in so many ways. I know Negroes, they have in the culture, they have their ways of doing stuff, but I'm talking about the Hispanic dudes, the way he, like, he came out of the security room. He's the guy who's not really the maintenance man, but I think he's the security that looks like he's another maintenance man, but he's the security. He's the one who I know is the guy who planted the camera or the monitoring device in my apartment, because every time some certain situation happened, he always in the elevator and he's in there with me, or all of a sudden when I'm like by the leasing office, he comes out of that room. But I haven't seen him for a good while, until I started recording that video about how they closed early. They closed up early knowing I was trying to get back to come in there, and JJ bitch ass was back too, little motherfucker, skinny bitch. I'm saying that shit on purpose, because I'm cursing their ass out while they watching and listening. And I know I seem crazy and I sound crazy, but I know I ain't motherfucking crazy. Ain't shit y'all niggas can say that make me think that I'm crazy, because I know what the fuck I seen, and I know motherfucking patterns too of behavior. Y'all stupid ass. That's how you got caught up and you call y'all ass trying to switch some shit up. I pay attention to every motherfucking thing. Like I said, if I ain't say no shit about it at the time, I'm paying attention, and it's all of a sudden it's gonna kick back, and then all the dots will be connected, and I'm gonna retrace the steps to every last MF or who's involved. And that's probably why y'all called yourself getting rid of Trevor Cook, because he was trying to work with y'all, but then he tried to do right by me when y'all bitch ass was trying to kick me out. I still have the paperwork. When JJ bitch ass called me, his little skinny ass motherfucking bitch ass, he called me. He's the one who signed the lease, the new lease for me to stay here. Then he gonna have it sent out another letter, talk about some eviction notice or something like that. I'm like, how the hell? And then had the motherfuckers coming knocking on my door, um, Carmen and Philip Hall, and Carmen, whatever her last name is, the one of the other ladies on my other video walking by after she was messing with my son Cup. um them two people came knocking on the door talking some eviction, and I was like, no, JJ just signed the thing with me this week or earlier this week or the prior day before, or and not the prior day before, it was a few days before they activated that. And I'm like, why are you talking about some or actually I think it was possible even a week prior to them coming knocking on my door talking, oh yeah, you got an eviction notice, we're giving you this paper. What the fuck, you guys are some crooked motherfuckers. Go ahead and evict me if you want to. You gonna fuck around and find out. And let me clear that real quick, because somebody can do something and use that against me and try to fuck some shit up and then try to blame me for it. That ain't gonna happen either, because I'll make sure that you know what the fuck I did, bitch.